this program to bring you a special report.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there my Crimsonites, how y'all doing today? How we doing? Is everybody okay? Everybody all right? All right, just going to make a real quick announcement to everybody. Just a real quick one. My premieres, sometimes they're 20 minutes, sometimes they're an hour. We're just tightening up ship around here at the Crimson Cure. So just so you guys are aware, my premieres that happen at 10 o'clock in the morning are going to be no longer than about 15 minutes. Okay? So we're no longer having these 30-minute, maybe they're an hour, maybe they're 40 minutes. You don't know how long it's going to be. The morning rush really is going to be a morning rush. It really is going to be something very simple for you to wrap your minds around, wrap your hands around, and get going in the morning with something on your mind. So if you're, I just want to get everybody accustomed to that. Like I said, we're just tightening up a few things around here, getting real streamlined so that my subscribers know exactly what to expect and what not to expect. My live streams are going to be 1 hour. Period. 1 hour. So we're getting in, we cooking, and we jumping out. Okay? So I just want to let everybody know, just a small heads up about, how we're tightening up around here. Everybody get the likes up. You go bam, 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 bam. Gotta get the likes up. Bam, bam. You make me do the thumb dance. We gonna get the thumbs up? Come on. We got 95 people. We got 64 likes. Come on and get the likes up, please. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. I usually kind of go down the list of everyone, but that kind of takes a lot of time. So I'm just going to say hey to everybody. I'm so glad that you all are here. I see some new names. I see the people who always rock with me, and I thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to get started. How the 80% divorce rate devastates the Black community. So we're going to really take another look at this dynamic, at what's going on in our communities with these divorce rates. So now everybody should have heard by now that Dale and Sonia Curry are getting divorced. Now these are an older couple. Okay, so I'm gonna read a real quick article. We're actually gonna read a couple of articles today, but I'm gonna try to make them real quick. So let me go ahead and read this one, okay? So this one was posted on the 26th of August. It says, Dale and Sonia Curry accuse each other of cheating amid divorce. Earlier this week, it was reported that Steph Curry's parents, Dale and Sonia, will be getting a divorce. While the divorce had been filed back in June, the news had only broken on Monday thanks to TMZ. At the time of the report, it appeared as though the relationship was ending on good terms and that there was no one specific reason as to why the divorce was filed. So that right there is problematic. It said, it appeared as though the relationship was ending on good terms and that there was no one specific reason as to why the divorce was filed. Now that's problematic. But we'll continue. Recently, however, things have gotten messy as new court docs revealed that Dale and Sonya have both accused each other of cheating. In fact, Dale claims that Sonya is living in Tennessee with a former athlete named Steven Johnson. For those who may not know, Johnson is a former player for the New England Patriots, and he now works as a commercial developer. Sonya has denied these reports and claims she's living on her own. She even claims Dale told her she can't live at his house anymore. Sonya also admitted to being in a relationship with someone new. However, she alleged that she and Dale have been separated since March of 2020. The Curry family matriarch is also claiming that Dale was unfaithful on numerous occasions throughout their marriage. Now, mind you, this was right at the beginning of C19 when they so-called got separated. We're going to point some stuff out. On numerous occasions throughout their marriage, and it was ultimately why things had to come to an end. As for the actual divorce proceedings, there's still a lot that will need to be figured out, and moving forward, it looks like a lot of things will play out publicly. Stay tuned as we will bring you all of the latest updates pertaining to this developing story. Okay, now usually I would just click it off, but we're gonna move right along to this next piece. Steph Curry has chosen sides in parents' divorce. Now, this is interesting. Now, this was just posted about a day ago. More details continue to emerge from the reported divorce of Dale and Sonya Curry. Earlier this month, TMZ Sports reported that Sonya Curry had filed for divorce from her husband of 30 plus years. She filed. Steph Curry's parents are going their separate ways. TMZ Sports had learned Sonya Curry had filed for divorce from Dale Curry. 55-year-old Sonya put in the paperwork back in June 14th in North Carolina, according to court records. A court official tells us the divorce is still ongoing. Details surrounding the reason for the split are unclear. We're working on it. Dale Curry has reportedly accused Sonya of cheating on him with a former NFL player. That's not the only cheating allegation, though. Dale Curry, a former NBA player, is accused of cheating on Sonya with multiple women. MTO News is now reporting Steph Curry has chosen his mother's side in the divorce. MTO News has learned that son Steph and wife Aisha have chosen sides. A family friend of the Warrior star explained Steph has a special relationship with his mother, and so he's supporting her. The insider added Steph's relationship with his father is strained after this. He's disappointed that Dale would put their family business out there, and he doesn't believe the accusations against his mother. Divorces can get ugly, so news like this should always be taken with a grain of salt. Hopefully, there are smoother roads ahead for the Curry family. So we're going to take a real quick break from looking at these articles. Okay. So I just want to point out a couple of things. First of all, the reason for the filing is unclear. Didn't we talk about that? The reason for the filing is unclear. This is a 30-plus-year-old relationship. Married for 30, was dating a couple of years before the actual marriage. This man and this woman have been together more than a lot of people been alive. Okay? You can't tell me that this isn't a tragedy. You can't tell me that it's not. And they older. And we're going to get to some stats in a minute that talk about older people in divorces and how that's real detrimental, especially for women. Thank you, Ronan. Thank you, Dolomite. So what we have to think about is that she filed for the divorce. Now, she's denying that she cheated on Dale. If you believe that she cheated, press 1. If you believe that she didn't cheat, press 2 in the chat. That's what I need you guys to do for me. Then when people started inquiring, well, why is she filing for divorce? Then, oh, well, he cheated on me multiple times. But you've been with that man 30-something years. she cheated. I'm going to tell y'all how I know for a fact that she cheated. Y'all want to know how I know for a fact she cheated? Okay. I was married to my husband for 20 years, okay? Without ever stepping out on him, without ever cheating on him. I never even looked at another man. And we went through it in our marriage in terms of a lot of stuff wasn't getting done, if you know what I mean. Like for the past maybe 5 years, the last 5 years of that marriage, nothing was getting done. You know what I'm talking about. And I still never left. I never left, and I never sought out another man. Okay? Now, when he passed away, guess what? I didn't know how to get another man. I'm going to tell you this from experience. When you have been in a long relationship and you have not cheated, ladies, and I'm going to tell the guys too, but ladies, we forget how to hunt for eggplants. We don't know where the eggplant farm is at. We don't know where they grow them no more. We done lost the address. We done lost the phone number. We all back in the yellow pages trying to find, okay? We don't know where it's at because we had one eggplant 20, 30 years ago. We went to the eggplant store. We vetted out an eggplant. We got it. We was with it, okay? We ain't been back. We never went back. The eggplant farm has picked up and moved on. We don't even know where the address is at. We don't know. Okay? Listen, let me tell you something. Thank you, Metal Heart. We don't know that anymore. So this is how I know she been cheating. Because it take a minute for you not only to find the eggplant store, but in order to find the eggplant store, you got to get your hunting skills back up. And you lose them. We lose how to hunt men when we ain't did it in like 2-3 decades. You forget. You just don't. It's rusty. It's a rusty skill. And then you 20, 30 years older. So now it's more difficult for you to get back into the groove. The groove is way different now than it was when you got out of the groove. And you mean to tell me she being real technical with the semantics? I'm living on my own. She is with that man, that ex-NFL player that, you know, she claims she ain't with. She been with that man, because how you find the eggplant store that fast? Boop. How you find it? You shouldn't even have the phone number. None of your friends should have been able to direct you to it either. Because you're supposed to have married friends. Okay, single women keep up with the eggplant stores because that's the source of all things masculine until you get a husband. Okay, you got to keep track of the eggplant store. Other than that, you won't have no masculinity nowhere around you. Okay, so I know from experience. And even though my husband passed away, the end of a marriage is the end of a marriage. Divorce and death almost feel the same way because it's still the ending. It's still the death of a marriage. It's the death of a relationship. You understand what I'm saying? And I wanted to read that second piece to you guys about Steph choosing a side. First of all, in my humble opinion, that's some old Maggle type stuff. Because how you just choose your mama side? She living with a whole man. And whatever Dale have done, he ain't living with no woman. Ain't nobody reported that he already got a woman moved in and all kind of stuff like that. So both of y'all was stepping down. No. We didn't read that. Thank you, Xavier. We didn't read that Dale got a woman in and out of his house. He told you couldn't live in his house no more because you got that man over there. That's why. Nobody's stupid. But more pointedly, a side was chosen. Thank you, Franklin. And that's the biggest point of all of this. A side was chosen by an adult child. Steph is grown. Steph is not a little kid looking to see which parent gonna get custody of him. He's a grown, successful man with children of his own. However, the marriage is not the only thing that breaks between the two individuals. There are separations and divorces that trickle down. Now you got Steph that's in a tough spot with his father. Now we understand from this, not only is that some Maggle type stuff, but she done owned him. That's some mama's boy stuff. I'm sorry. That's just, it is what it is. Okay? That's some mama's boy stuff. All right? Now, aside from that, it's an illustration of what we were discussing before about how even the adult children are greatly affected by these divorces that the women initiate. Because if Dale Curry was cheating and that was a reason for divorce, you'd have done it when he cheated. You'd have had proof that he did it, and you would have said, you know what? I don't want to stay, and that was years ago, and I don't want to do it, you know, and I'm not gonna. But she just said, oh, he cheating, to cover up the fact that she's cheating. The deflection. Or I'm gonna just, you know, it wasn't that big a deal 5-10 years ago when you supposedly seen some woman's number or something like that. You still stayed. So I have never understood these old women filing for divorce. And we're going to get to some stats about older women divorcing. But what I want to take a look at now, we're going to read another article that's called A Black Woman's Guide to Divorce. And you're really going to hear a lot of gynocratic crap where y'all going to be like thinking in y'all mind, if she don't knock it off, as I read this article. So let's go ahead and read this article real quick. I'm going to share my screen again. A Black Woman's Guide to Divorce. And they just look like two gynocrats, two old gynocrats. But anyway, Southfield resident Crystal Eason left. Okay, so this is her with the older black woman. I'm a gynocrat. I get my necklaces from Ashley Stewart. This one is the woman post-divorce that God wanted her to be, really. Shakina Melbourne, this individual here, is a licensed attorney who helps a lot of black women and couples navigate through their divorce. Notice she said it, they help a lot of black women navigate. Then gonna try to throw in couples. Boop! Anyway, Detroit native Crystal Eason, 53 whole years of Southfield, has some words for black women going through a divorce and wondering what the next step is. Fall in love with yourself all over again. Boop! Knock it off. That is gynocratic. You were supposed to be loving yourself through the marriage. What was wrong with you? Anyway, Eason, a mother of 2 adult children, taught others that lesson after she filed for divorce in 2012, officially divorced in 2013 from her husband of 15 years. These are long marriages, y'all. We were together 17 years, she said. We were both in the ministry, she said, adding that they had a hard time getting along, and when it was time to decide or a crisis came up, they had 2 totally different schools of thought. That's because who was vetting who? You mean you was in a relationship with that back breaking, but you wasn't compatible with him in no other way. That's what that tells me. Anyway, Eason, who said she was emotionally bankrupt in her marriage, was one of many countless black women who divorced in the United States. According to statistics, black men and women both go through at least one divorce at a rate of about 42%. Native Americans also have a high statistical possibility of experiencing divorce, with the rate of 44% of men and 45% of women ending one or more of their marriages. According to First Horizon advisors, when going through a divorce, women don't have to end up with the short end of the stick. They usually don't. Anyway, they should, number 1, organize their assets and debts after the divorce is final and revisit their policies, accounts, and plans so the former spouse is no longer named on these documents. Now, mind you, everything that's about to get listed is about some type of money. Anyway, number 2, calculate monthly take-home pay when the divorce is complete and factor in alimony or child support payments to be received. Number 3, create a list of monthly costs and consider new expenses like health insurance and find out what new coverages the divorcee might qualify you for. Number 4, tally up the cost of new monthly expenses for the house, car, child care, and more. See how more expenses are there? Along with any shared debt that was involved with the divorce agreement. Number 5, develop a set of new financial goals for saving more, building up that emergency fund, and have even greater control over finances going forward. So these women want control of finances, but shouldn't the finances have been under control during the marriage? This is how you talking about building up the emergency fund, but this was a fund that would have been better served in a marriage. Yes? Anyway, let's keep going. Taking charge of finances is important during this fragile time because according to a study published by the National Bureau of Economic Research, divorced women might be more likely to work a full-time job after turning 50 due to needing to bring in an income for a longer period of time. Whose fault is that? Y'all the ones that's initiating these divorces. It's not like these men are walking away from y'all and just leaving y'all out to dry. This is the part that they don't say. Anyway, Eason said that what helped her through her divorce was to use legal information as a strong support system so that she could fight legally, not emotionally, like they got a heart. When you fight emotionally, it deters your power. The emotionality of a woman is her power. See how masculine that is? Anyway, Shakina Melbourne, 33, a licensed attorney at Black women-owned virtual law firm Upton Law, PLLC, said that the most surprising thing she has seen is the split of debts 50-50. Yeah. Regardless of the income of the woman, she said, what I find the most interesting is that in the Black community, our culture is the men protect and provide and the women are to nurture and take care of the household. However, when a woman makes any income, the moment the divorce happens, the woman must split the debt in half. At that point, her income does not matter whether she makes more money or less money than her ex-partner. Well. Alimony is not split. That come right out of his money. Child support ain't split. That come right out of his money, whether he the custodial parent or not. Many times he's still paying child support and he's the custodial parent. And ain't nobody talking about that. Yeah, you gonna share some of this burden. You broke the family, you gonna pay some of this. These women kill me. But then on the other hand, they talk about how much more money they make than black men. So which is it? You're poor and destitute while you're married, or you're making more money than him and he ought to serve you? Which one? Let's move on. Melbourne said that she encourages women to consider all of their options before marriage and before divorce is even on the table. Meaning, have an open door to discussing the hard topics, she said. Things such as prenups or postnups. Communicate about how the household will be run and who will take the lead on the financial concerns of the household. See how this is all circulating around money. Melbourne added that it is important to try to discuss issues such as savings accounts, pensions, and what debts each person should have walking into the marriage. These are sometimes the biggest concerns in marriages and in many instances will cause one or both partners to lead to a bankruptcy. She said, adding that she deals with a lot of divorces among black couples. She also said that the top divorce reason she has seen thus far is financial growth in one partner versus the other. And the women divorce more. So that means at some point when she feel like she make too much money, she's better than him, don't need him anymore, and therefore she can throw him in the garbage. That's what that says to me. Or simply no growth in the relationship where one partner may choose the kids, work, infidelity, or even a midlife crisis and fail to communicate the change or shift with their partner. Melbourne said, adding that while the C-19 did inspire breakups and divorces, it brought good things too. It has also unified families that were once broken, distant, or already in a pending divorce proceeding. This is almost the end. She added that stats have shown that while black women are the glue in corporate America and are pursuing higher degrees in rapid numbers, when it comes to relationships, black women statistically are failing because there is an issue in the black community with finance and leadership. So they blaming the men for the women's lack of ability to be worthy wives. If the man makes more money than her, should he lead? See, it's a question of leadership, not because the men don't lead, but because the women are masculine. You understand that? But if the woman makes more money, is she the leader? See, because you want to be. Or is she still the follower behind the man that makes less than her? Why should it matter? These questions are causing a stagnation in the black community and the unification of the black family, at least in my opinion, Melbourne said. And until the answer to the question is addressed as a whole, black women will continue to have the worst end of the stick. I'm trying to figure out where she gets the bad end of the stick. She get all the alimony, the child support, the kids, the house, the car. She gets all that stuff. Anyway, Eason said that she was older than her husband by 5 years and she had a dream of their family building a world they could conquer. Their reality fell apart when he grew distant, she said, years before the divorce. Don't say why. Just blame him. He grew distant. Now the author of 6 books with a license to minister, a PhD, a private practice, and more, Eason is doing life her way. See? And her journey back to rediscovering herself, gynocracy language, is one she prays other women will go on during their own divorce. I discovered I needed to trust God. Really? And God told you to divorce on a different level and believe that who he made me to be was who I am, she said, adding that a marital status does not make the woman. Really? That has nothing to do with a calling or future. There is a difference between who you were, who you are now, and who you want to become. Make that decision for yourself as a woman. For herself, that choice was obvious when her journey forward started. The woman I've become, I would say, God is pleased. Okay. So, first, get the likes up. Come on, everybody. Get the likes up, please. All right. Now, let's talk about this really quickly. Since she called herself spiritual, I'm going to touch on something spiritual. I'm going to touch it, and then I'm going to get out of there. All right? In Islam, it is said that divorce is the most hated thing that Allah created that was permissible. Divorce is the most hated thing that Allah created that's permissible. Allah hates divorce, even though he made divorce a last-ditch option. Not only did Allah make the divorce last-ditch option, women in Islam cannot initiate divorces. Men initiate divorces. In order for a Muslim woman, to initiate a divorce, there's a lot of proving she gotta do. A lot of proving about what kind of rights that he's not giving her, or what's going on that's making her go to this extreme of actually trying to get a marriage annulled. Okay? Now, I would imagine that in Christianity, there's a similar thing. Divorces are not supposed to be these things that you just do. Somebody let me know. That shouldn't be something you just do. Let me know if in the Bible it say anything about whether or not a woman can initiate that or not. Because we can't initiate that. We pretty much have to ask permission for our husband to release us. And if he don't do that, we have to go to an Islamic court to get it annulled. And there's a lot of stuff to do that. It's not easy. There's no such thing as no fault divorce. It's not easy. I can't get married to my husband and then go to anybody's court Islamically and say, oh, me and my husband don't get along, let's annul the marriage. I get looked at like I'm too crazy. Astaghfirullah. Sister, if you don't get out of this courtroom and go work that out with your husband and have some patience, you better pray to Allah. You can't just come through here talking about you want a divorce. What's wrong with you? Where your husband? Do he know you down here? Call your husband. How dare you? It's a problem. Now, when I read that article, you could hear the gynocracy in it. Do everything for yourself. Everything was about money. And what rules, what system is it where the wealth is what's most important? The system where the wealth is most important is the lost value system. Black women do not think about the fallout after the divorces. They don't think about what happens after to other people, not just me. See, Sonya Curry is only thinking about what happens to her. You know what she thinking about? She thinking about new eggplant. She tired of the one she been with for 30 years. The one that's done spent the time. The one that's done spent the money. The one she done had and raised kids with. The one they done went through ups and downs. He done took all of her mess. He done took all of the, you know what I'm saying, the emotionalism, and she done got mad and all this other kind of stuff. Her gynocratic ways. Raising them kids to obviously be mama's boys. At least Steph. All of this that done went on for 30-some years of building, raising, foundation, assets, houses, money, cars. How much money he done spent on that woman in shoes, clothes, vacation expenses? How much time went into all of the work that he has done over the years? All the trouble she caused in that marriage, because women cause trouble. We just do it. Never once took these threats off the table. How many times has she probably threatened that man about, I'm going to leave you, you know what I'm saying, if she happened to even think he might have been talking to another woman? I'm gone. All of this foolishness. Instead of doing the hard work, instead of working on your marriage, working on yourself. If things are not going on right in the marriage, why is it always the other person's fault? Maybe you need to step back and take a look at me. Do inventory on me. But we know black women don't do inventory. Side note, for those of you who probably gonna jump down and talk about, well, Sonya Curry ain't black. If Meghan Markle is black, Sonya Curry is black. Moving right along. Black women notoriously do not have insight. There's no insight. Insight comes from the reflection. It comes from looking inwards, where you may find the truth about yourself, about your situation, about what's going on. If my marriage is not working, the first thing that I have to do is not say what my husband is doing wrong, but if he is reacting in a certain way, how am I contributing to how he's reacting to me? How he talking to me? Is this coming out of the blue, or is this something that, you know, is brewing up because of the way I'm approaching things? Maybe I'm approaching it the wrong way. Maybe I should have a conversation with my husband that's not accusatory of him. Well, you know, you've been doing this and doing that. Instead, maybe we should have a nice, calm, maybe I should cook him his favorite dinner. maybe a soft approach. Maybe we can sit down and let me listen to him instead of me telling him everything he doing to me. Let me ask the hard question, that the one I don't want the answer to. What have I been doing to him? How has he been perceiving me, my actions, my words, my deeds, my behavior? You might get some inside information if you just sit down, open your ears, close your mouth, open your heart, and allow your husband to, instead of cutting him off, let him tell you, this is what's going on with me. This is why I've been distant. This is why I've been pulling back. This is what's happening. I haven't liked the way you, but. I haven't liked how you have A, B, C, D. And instead of getting mad at him for pointing it out, why not accept what he's saying and say, okay, baby, I am going to do my very best to work on all of these things that you just said to me. Because I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose what we've had. I don't want to lose what we built. I love you. I love you. And I need you in my life. And I want you in my life. I can't see my life without you. No, black women can't say that. That's weak. That's some pick Misha type stuff right there. Having insight and listening to your man. That's pick me, right? According to a gynocrat, that's pick me. I just want him to pick me. Of course I want my husband to pick me. He already picked me. I just want to stay picked. That's all. But black women don't know how to do that. Let's talk about these older chicks getting divorced. I want to share something with you. And I'm not going to read this whole article. I'm going to actually pick through it a little bit. So I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to kind of pick through this article a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way through it. But this one was interesting. Divorce destroys the finances of Americans over 50, studies show. How old is Sonia? She's 55. So she an old one. All right, she old. Let's see. Let's start right here. There are few things more devastating than divorce. Even the very wealthy can find it financially draining. Even the very wealthy. Because why? All of these assets got to be split. The money got to be split. There are new expenses, etc. Financially draining, emotionally harrowing, and just plain messy. Academic studies document serious health effects. A 2009 paper noted that recently separated or divorced adults have higher resting blood pressure. Last year, a German study found divorce led to considerable weight gain over time, especially in men. Splitting up after 50, often called a gray divorce, may be particularly hazardous to your emotional and financial health, far worse than doing so at a younger age. A wave of new research is quantifying the damage. It's a grim picture, said Susan Brown, a Bowling Green State University sociology professor. According to one study, people who've gone through a gray divorce report higher levels of depression than those whose spouses died. So going through a old bitter gynocrat divorce is worse than if you had been widowed. The economic effects are even more stark. As more and more baby boomers end marriages, sometimes for the second or third time, they're wrecking their finances on an unprecedented scale. Getting a gray divorce is a major financial shock. If you get divorced after age 50, expect your wealth to drop about 50%. See, this is how I know she been cheating. Because she ain't thought about that wealth drop. She ain't thought about how her standard of living gonna drop. That new eggplant she found, I don't want her like that. You old, your best years has been behind you. You should have stayed with the man that you gave all your best years to. You gave your young years to Dale. He can't complain about the wall. He was there before you hit it. But now she the one gonna be on the bad end of that stick. Because at her age, she got to find somebody that's willing to take care of her. She's not going to be able to hit back into no workforce and get that money that she was in to enjoy the type of lifestyle that she enjoyed while she was living with Dale. She has made a supreme mistake. She'll figure it out in about another year or so. All right. If you get divorced after age 50, expect your wealth to drop about 50%. Brown and her colleagues found in a yet-to-be-published research that analyzed a long-running longitudinal survey of Americans born before 1960. Not really a surprise. After all, any divorce involves dividing a family's resource. But incomes collapse after great divorce, particularly for women. The researchers looked at the standard of living, income adjusted for household size, reflecting the fact that a solo adult needs less income than a single parent with 2 children at home. They found that when women divorce after 50, the standard of living plunges 45%. That's about double the decline found in previous research on younger divorced women. I wonder why. The men only see their standard of living drop 21%. After divorce. Previous studies found a small or negligible effect of divorce on younger men's incomes. More troubling is that older people aren't bouncing back from these financial shocks. Brown and her colleagues were able to follow survey respondents' finances for up to a decade post-divorce. There's no appreciable recovery on the wealth front. There's no appreciable recovery in standard of living. Now, we're going to come back to it because this is pretty much the end of it. But we're going to stop sharing for a second. Let me come back to you guys. Listen, let me tell you something. You old women, I don't know what y'all think. It was so difficult re-entering the world without your husband, and I was 40. Not 55, not 60, not 1,000. I was 40. That was old enough. Thank Allah, I was still young enough and in my body enough that I could work. I could get out there and work. Okay? And make some type of living where I wasn't just on the street begging and borrowing and having to do God knows what in order to put food in my mouth. Okay? So these women who are divorcing these men at these older ages, I don't know what y'all are thinking. Listen, that new eggplant is not worth it. It is not worth it. I swear to you, it is not. A new eggplant is not worth destroying the stability of a home that has been built with you for 20, 30, 35, 40 years. It's just no comparison. If you need some new eggplant and your husband, listen, tell him to come to the Crimson Cure, hit the link for some A-game. That's what you do. But you don't throw your marriage away. And after 50, it is so difficult. I can imagine that. Who wants to get up and work? Especially if you've been a wife that your husband been really taking care of you. You ain't trying to get up and hustle and bustle and get down into no grinding. Who's doing that? Boop, knock that off. Okay? That's not nothing to aspire to. And that new dude that's knocking your back out, that's not nothing. That is not a consolation prize at all for what you've given away, what you've thrown away. And the women are the one that throw it away. The men are the last ones to actually file for the divorce. You really got to do something to a man. You really got to do something to a man to make him say, this is it. There's just no way. I cannot do it. I can't do it, and I'm not gonna do it. So you're not gonna do me. We rounding this off. Bye. Serve you some papers. This is why the Most High put marriage and divorce in the hands of men, because 9 times out of 10, he's more level-headed about it. He's not willing to just throw away to the wind all of the time and the effort and the money and the energy that has gone into this. He's not really too keen to destroy his legacy, destroy the foundation, because he's thinking about all the little divorces that take place after the big one. He's not just thinking what he can get. He's thinking about what is his kids gonna get? What are they gonna go through? He's thinking about things from a practical standpoint. What's the money gonna look like? Where the house is gonna go? Where's all of this stuff is happening? And then how do I protect and provide and problem solve for my family going forward once this thing breaks down? So he's not trying to really get rid of no marriage that he done built with no woman no 30, 40 years. He just ain't really trying to do it. Again, it's got to be some knockdown, drag out stuff that done happen with him. So listen, we got to talk about black women being caught in this selfish view of family. See, this is what you're caught up in, black women. You're caught in the lost value system. You're caught where wealth means everything to you and it is being worshipped. There's no detachment from it. You never come away from this worldly life and these worldly thoughts to think about your spiritual self and the spiritual selves of the other people that are influenced by your decisions and that are affected by your decisions. Family in the lost value system said there is no loving support. Where's the loving support of your family? When do you stop to think about what are my decisions gonna do to everybody? Not just me, not just because I want a new start and I just want to find myself. You better ask your husband, hey, listen, if you trying to having trouble finding yourself, that's a spiritual issue. You need to revisit your spiritual value because something is missing. And instead of pointing it to, well, I'm just not happy with the marriage, and you can't say exactly what you unhappy about, that mean ain't nothing happening for you to be unhappy. You need to figure that out in your own heart and your own mind. You unhappy with you. You not unhappy with that man. You unhappy with you. And that starts with having some value, gathering yourself underneath the 10 life value system, of which spiritual value is number 1. What about myself? Okay, think about yourself, but in a more focused way where the group benefits from what you do, not where the group is punished for what you do. If you got to find yourself, you need to let your husband know, baby, I think I need to really do some spiritual soul searching, but not that involves breaking the family up. Let's do some spiritual stuff together so maybe we can grow together. This is what we need to understand. Family has to be a loving support system that's group focused, not selfish focused, not just focus on what I want, focus on what I think I need, and just Forget everything what my kids need and my grandkids and my husband and my everything. Just forget that. I'm just going to go, quote unquote, find myself. This is destructive, ladies. This is destructive. There's no worse thing that you can do to tear down black culture, to tear down the black community, to tear down your families, to stop the progress of the people as a whole, than to initiate these divorces, initiate the literal breaking up of the families, and then want to complain about how ain't nobody marrying you and what these family structures is looking like when you the one with the hammer in your hand. You guilty because you the one with the sledgehammer in your hand breaking it. I got a little advice for you. For the women that are not on this BS, make some personal contracts. Have the discussions that you need to have. Don't just let Hello Kitty make decisions for you. Because as women, we cannot allow Hello Kitty to make decisions for us because she is only considering one thing. She don't care about nothing else. Okay? She chaotic and she selfish and she don't care nothing about nothing else. So Hello Kitty is not allowed to make these decisions. This is why spiritual value is important. Because we need to have the guidance of the Most High on these very serious matters. Because this is you getting into a relationship with this man. You probably gonna replicate this man in your womb. This man and being with him is gonna change the trajectory of your whole life. This is not a plaything. This is not a joke. This is not something that you can just pick up and put down when you get ready. Instead of going to the state, getting these marriage licenses, take the threat off the table, make some contracts between you and him. If you want it to be spiritual, do so in front of, you know what I'm saying, do so in front of your congregation or your masjid and all of that type of stuff. Stop letting Hello Kitty make these decisions, because the reality is once a man and a woman physically join like that, that's a marriage. Because you shouldn't be physically joining without the commitment. Aha. Gotcha. For those of you who are already in marriages, try these things. First of all, get your spiritual together with your husband. Involve each other in y'all spiritual lives. I got another tip for you. Eat with your husband. Eat food with your husband. It brings the hearts together. Don't do that to me. I knew I heard you fall back here. You got to stay up for the show, because I got the preview at the end. Don't fall. Okay. Eat food from the same plate as your husband. Don't just eat at the dinner table when he way over there and you way over there. Sit with your husband right next to him. Put y'all food on the same plate. You know how you bring the hearts together? It's a simple thing. Take food, not on the fork, not on the spoon, unless you just got to, you don't want to pick up soup with your hand. But pick the food up with your hand and put it in your husband's mouth. Take the food after you done cooked the food, after you done served the food. Sit with him. Put the food on the same plate. Bless the food in the name of Allah. Take the food with your hand. Put the food lovingly in his mouth. Tell him you love him with each bite. Tell him how much he means to you with each bite. That brings the hearts together. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. Do things together with your husband. Get that intimacy together. It's not just sex. The intimacy is the intimacy and the closeness of the hearts, the minds, the spirit. That's marriage. Now, if you want to connect physically, do this. Join the A-Game family. You want your husband to, knock you back out. It's been 35 years, It's still good, but it ain't quite the same. So join the A-Game family. And how you do that is you click the link that is pinned right at the top of the chat at agameherbal.com. Get your 10% discount using the code Kendra10. So once again, that link is pinned right at the top of the chat. So you don't have to go hunting for it. It's right there. Okay, get your 10% discount using the code Kendra10. And everybody can get on their A game. All right, join the A Game family. This is a wonderful product that is a male herbal solution that addresses his blood flow. So this increases his vitality, his energy, his strength, and his libido, ladies. If you know what I mean, ladies. Okay? All right. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone for coming through. I want to thank everyone for their contributions. I want to thank everyone for their cash apps as well for a wonderful conversation. Thank you guys so much. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.